We have the great Ross Tucker joining us now on the D&M Leasing Hotline here on 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, brother. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Must be Eagles week if you guys actually want me to come on this week. What's up?
Ross,
Don't start.
if I have to explain to people who love you how difficult it is to book you, you would not want that. It is
Okay.
It is very.
I don't know why that is, by the way. We've talked about it before, but anyway, I don't make those decisions.
I'm hearing about invoices and this behind the scenes. And I was like, I'll just text them. I said this Monday. I said, I'll just text them. And they're like, well, you can't really do that. We have to go through a process. I said, okay, all right. Either way, we're happy to have him on no matter what.
I'm always happy to have him on as a fellow Mike McCarthy hater. And so
Hater?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Ross was a Mike McCarthy hater, and I think we bonded over that.
Listen, I'm not a Mike McCarthy hater. What I thought was silly is when you guys wanted to put all the blame on Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
And, your radio station decided to run Kellen Moore out of town, probably because the Jones family told you to run Kellen Moore which, by the way, was kind of laughable. What had happened with Kellen Moore last year? I can't remember. What did his team do?
Won a Super Bowl.
His head coach and quarterback dragged him to a Super Bowl.
Man, you are such a hater. I'm with you, Ross. I loved Kellen Moore. I thought Kellen Moore should have gotten a job here.
Well, Kellen Moore's quarterback was Jalen Hurts, and now there's a story coming from Philadelphia with the weekly drama with your squad, Ross, that they're not happy with Jalen Hurts, and Jalen wants to run the offense his way. Where do we stand with the drama this week?
It really is funny. I love that you call them my team. Just for the record here, okay? I am the greatest left guard in Dallas Cowboys history for the last 7 games of the 2002 season. Okay? So I think people lose sight of that, number one. Number two, I do Eagles preseason games, and I do some work for the team during the week, like their NBC show and social media or whatever. But they're not my Eagles. I will say it's funny because I've talked with WIP a number of times over the years, and they've had interest in, me doing more stuff. I am so glad that I don't have to talk for 4 hours about whatever the drama is going on with the Eagles every week. They might be the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl last year. They're 8-2, and yet every week the focus is on what A.J. Brown tweeted or said on Twitch or did this, or now there's a report that there's frustrations with Jalen Hurts. I guess I don't really know what that means. I would like if they were a little bit more specific. I mean, I can tell you as a former offensive lineman, I get frustrated at times by some of the sacks that he takes. But, you have to take the good with the bad. I think he figured out, you know what? We have the best players. We have the best team. So maybe if I just don't turn it over, we'll still win. And guess what? He's right that they have the fewest turnovers in the league. He never throws picks. And because of that, they win almost every game, always.
Ross, the addition of Quinnen Williams. What did you think of the move? There's a lot of people saying don't give up lower, cheap draft capital. You're not, one player away. He's not 23, 24 years old. What did you think about the move, and what do you think about their prospects the rest of the year?
Well, that's a very interesting one. I think Quinnen Williams is a really good player. I guess where I'll start is it doesn't seem like there was that much of a difference in what they gave up for Quinnen Williams and what they got for Micah Parsons. And that would be my number one problem. Dude, seriously? I mean, Quinnen Williams is a good player. He's not Micah. And so to get 2 first-round picks in Kenny Clark, and then you give up a first and a second and Mozzie Smith. Now, the Kenny Clark, Mozzie Smith thing's a pretty big difference, seeing how they played. But still, I didn't love that part of it. I also thought it was strange timing to do it now in a year where it doesn't feel like the Cowboys are really going anywhere. The flip side is, man, they were a lot better on defense. Now, I know it was the Raiders, but they were a lot better on defense with him out there. And I kind of respect that the Cowboys know they have a really good offense and they don't want to give up on the season. And Quinnen Williams gives them a chance to make a run at this thing. It's not over yet, and they can still get in the playoffs. If they get in the playoffs, anything can happen. I think the other issue is after 26, at the latest, he's going to want a new contract. So we've seen how that goes with the Cowboys sometimes. So, you know, where you would have had Micah under contract for like 5 years, whereas Quinnen's going to want 1 and 2.
He is Odyssey NFL Inside of the Great Ross Tucker, brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Ross, I have a man crush, big time, and his name is George Pickens. I also like to call him the number 1 wide receiver. What would you do? You're Jerry Jones. Put your Jerry hat on. What would you do? Would you give him the extension? Would you tag? How would you play this? Because you don't want to be the Bengals.
Wow. It's a great question. He is maybe the most hilarious player in the NFL. I mean, he is so talented, so gifted, and yet so, I don't know, what's the right word? Mercurial? You know? I mean,
sounds like a Princeton
word.
That's a Princeton word right there.
The Steelers moving on from him says a lot about a lot. Rather than pay him peanuts this year, they paid DK Metcalf a boatload. So, you know, there's only 2 options there. One would be you tag him, which I think is possible. The other one is you could give him a nice deal, but one that you can get out of after a year or 2, and one that is pretty ironclad in terms of voiding guarantees if he gets suspended. Because it just feels like he's a guy that you want to date and not marry.
Yeah.
It feels like if you marry him, you're signing up for a divorce. So you want to date him, whether you franchise him for a year or you do sort of a and if you do the contract I'm talking about, you do a heck of a prenup. Let's put it that way. If you're going to marry him, make sure the prenup is really buttoned up.
How vulnerable is the Eagles' offensive line?
Well, they're worse at every position right now than they were last year. For whatever reason, Mailata is not playing as well as he did last year when he was amazing. Landon Dickerson, I think, is just beat up. I mean, he's had 2 more surgeries since last year. He does not look to me like he's moving the same. You can see it on the tush push and in the run game. He's getting stoned at times where that never happened to him. He was a mover of men. Juergens is hurt again. That's his 3rd time. I don't think he'll play Sunday. I think it'll be Toth. You know, Steen has actually been okay, but he's not a great player. He's just okay. And now they lost Lane Johnson, and they have a journeyman in Fred Johnson. So when people talk about the issues the Eagles have on offense, I would probably start there. I would start with their offensive line is pretty much worse across the board. You combine that with A.J. Brown, doesn't look quite as explosive to me. And some of the things they do schematically, I don't totally understand, but those are the big ones that jump out to me.
Ross Tucker joining us here on 105 through the Fan. Ross, when you look at Dallas's offense, which has been operating pretty strong for most of the season, they had a couple hiccups there with Denver and Arizona. But when you look at the way that they've played, if you're Philadelphia, how are you saying, all right, I'm going to try and take from some of the stuff we've seen from Denver and Arizona and apply it here? What do you think is the mode of attack to try to slow them down?
Well, this is going to be an amazing game because the Eagles' defense right now might be the best in the NFL. Certainly the last – I mean, guys, back-to-back primetime games, they held the Packers and the Lions to less than 10 points, less than double digits. The Eagles' defense right now is playing like they did during the Super Bowl run. But the Cowboys – I kind of love the Cowboys offense. I mean, first of all, your guards are bullies, and I have a healthy appreciation for that. You know, Tyler Smith and Tyler Booker, they're out there trying to steal souls, which is the way you should play that position, especially if you play for the Dallas Cowboys. And then, you know, we know what they have at receiver. What's fascinating, okay, is that the Eagles might have like the best corner in the league. Quinnen Mitchell has been amazing.
Yeah.
And he typically lines up against the single receiver side, against like the boundary X, against Pickens. So does Vic Fangio have enough confidence in Quinnen Mitchell to just put him one-on-one on Pickens all game? I mean, Quinnen Mitchell's good, but it's not easy for anybody to cover a guy like Pickens man-to-man like that. But it's probably the smart move because on the other side, Adoree Jackson has kind of been the weak link for the Eagles defense. Been a little bit better these last couple of games, but that's the guy you want to target, is you want to try to pick on Adoree Jackson. And so if Quinnen's on Pickens, that means a lot of times CeeDee Lamb will be against Adoree Jackson, and that is a matchup that the Cowboys should just go to as often as they can.
Great stuff as always, brother. We love catching up with you. Thank you for the preview and continue killing it on Westwood One as well.
Hey, it is my pleasure. It is awesome talking with you guys. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the Cowboys-Eagles live because I've got Shador's first start against the Raiders for CBS.
Oh, heck yeah.
Make sure you flip over and check out your boy from time to time during the commercials or something.
Absolutely. Have a great call, man. Take care. The great
All right, see you guys.
Ross Tucker Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide.